So the name's Alex. I do vegan food, so I'm a vegan chef, but also help people heal through many different modalities like ceremonial spaces, readings, and various other things.
My name's Aaron. I've got a clothing brand, which is more than a clothing brand. It's called Higherself. It's about making people aware of the higher self and pushing something positive.
My name is Ankara Acacia. So I'm a holistic therapist. I work mainly as a body worker. So helping people release trapped emotions and blocked energy. I know what to do. We can't change the world.
Got another episode today, another one. And got 3 people on the couch, 3 people. So before we go into it though, I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves to the viewers. So we start to the right of me. Who are you? What do you do?
I am a woman of many names. She always say that, but I'll use one, which is Alex. So the name's Alex. I do vegan food, so I'm a vegan chef, but also help people heal through many different modalities like ceremonial spaces, readings, and various other things.
Welcome, Alex. And you're a veteran now. Veteran on the couch. And you know what? It's your fault why we're even getting into this, because our discussion went to different realms and I'm fully inquisitive, right? I like to know things. But again, who are you and what do you do?
My name's Aaron. I've got a clothing brand, which is more than a clothing brand. It's called Higherself. It's about making people aware of the higher self and pushing something positive. And I've got a CIC as well of it now, which I just finished a couple of days ago. I got the news back that I've been accepted for CIC.
Yeah.
So I've got a separate entity called Higherself, the movement.
Okay.
Which will start doing retreats and stuff like that and hiking.
Okay.
With the community. And I've got a plant-based. I'll do plant-based food as well. Not distributing at the minute, but we'll be distributing again soon.
Okay.
And that's just to inspire people to eat better and give people more ideas of how to eat and how to cook plant-based food. Yeah, so my mission is to do the spread light. That's it.
Okay. And to our left, and do you know what, right? We're going to go into the conversation as well, because there's a few things that you do that I want to dig deep into. But who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ankara Acacia. So I'm a holistic therapist. I work mainly as a body worker. So helping people release trapped emotions and blocked energy that's dormant within their body. And then also ceremonial space holding, working with many different plants as a medicine woman, and creating nice, deep healing containers where people can really go into deeper aspects that are in their subconscious, that they really need a safe space in order to really feel into, to feel safe and to allow themselves to see certain things that they wouldn't usually allow themselves to see, because there's so much in our bodies and there's so much in our unconscious that we're not aware of, but we're constantly acting it out.
Yeah.
So I create spaces for people to actually reflect and see, this is where this comes from. This is why I do this.
Yeah.
So they can grow.
Okay. And before we even started recording, right, you were all having a conversation that I want to get straight into. But before we even get into that, right, how does the food side now connect with everything? Because you said that you do the ITIL food, and why is that important and how does it all connect?
Okay, for me, when I started eating that way and changing my whole diet and the way I look at food, I did it for a spiritual purpose.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like straight away for the animals. It wasn't straight away, the health of it. It was literally for my spiritual growth. Yeah. Because I found that when I had the awakening in 2012, I've had multiple awakenings before and after that, but that particular one it literally just blew my whole mind open and blew my world in a complete different direction. I had to come out of the relationship I was in. I had to change the people I was around. I had to change the structure of my life and the things I was doing daily. And one of those things was eating right. So I did a 9-month raw, and I found that my whole body was just vibrating. I was literally going to different states of consciousness while doing meditation, and then literally just walking down the road. You know, I was literally experiencing life differently.
Yeah.
You know, I was communicating with animals differently, communicating with nature differently. And I found that, okay, that change was what I needed. Many people were observing me like, what are you doing? You can't just eat that. And yes, I can. Like, why are you not eating meat no more? Why are you not doing this no more? It was baffling to them. But I started taking those steps and then looking into Dr. Sabi and observing the things that he says. And then I started to do it. And I'm like, okay, he's right. That does cause mucus and that does this. And because the body shows you, but most of us, because we're not in tune with our bodies, we don't even know what the body's actually saying. And the organs do speak to you through various things, whether it's a rash, whether it's a cough, whether it's a cold, various different things. So it was for spiritual growth, because I found I was going more deeper into self. I started to do readings for people. I started to realize the accuracy that I was literally hitting onto them in their lives, and they're looking at me like, how the hell did you know that? Like, I'm just literally tapping into your guide. What do you mean, my guide? Yeah, they look like this and they look like that. How do you know this? I'm like, it's literally just me tuning into who it is that I am, more of me, really.
And a lot of people change their, as you said, because not much people change their diet or what they're eating because of spiritual reasons.
Exactly.
But I'm going to ask you this then right quickly, because I stopped eating meat probably about 8-9 years ago now. But I went through a period where I wanted to try plant-based. I did it for about a week and a half. And I felt like my senses was like I was sharp, but I couldn't manage it. Right? I couldn't manage it because my awareness like heightened and it just felt different. So listening to what you said, I started to resonate of when I started doing it.
But opening that door, like once you open that door, because your senses have been dulled previously to that, or you haven't been noticing those things, now you're noticing, you're opening doors that you've never opened before. So to you, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's like I've opened a door to a rave and there's 6 different types of music happening. You know, there's 4 different beings over there. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I feel like I'm communicating with my nan that's passed away. There's so much things that are coming at you, but you're getting used to it. So the more you step in the room, the more you sit in that room, you start to get used to the music. It's like, okay, I can hear that jungle over there. I want to go step into that room. You know, I can hear that soul over there. I want to go step into that room. I can hear this ancestor speaking. Let me sit and hear what he says. So you're trying to hear it all through all the noise of everything. But you have to just keep stepping through that room and stepping through the layers in order for you to get used to it. It's not easy. I'll tell you that. I've been sitting here and had moments of feeling like I wanted to channel, because I'm a huge channel. That's one of the other things. I'm a conduit for spirit, so I will speak certain things that people need to hear, or the guides and ancestors will speak through me, and they're like, how the hell did you know that? And I'm like, your guide's sitting right here and wants to speak to you, or someone that's passed away sitting here and wants to speak to you. And I've been feeling that before we started speaking. So this is why you probably see me just sitting there and trying to breathe. So I can literally center myself and ground back again. But yeah, you learn tools as it goes on. Just to help you just, ground yourself and come back to earth.
And Ankhkara, what was your journey then in terms of, the pathway that you're on now?
I had almost like a supernatural experience. So when I was going through some depression, it was kind of linked to what was happening with my mum, because my mum had mental health. I was going through depression, and then one day I was like sitting in my bedroom, and for some reason what was I doing? You know when you make shadow puppets and you think if you do that, and I was making like a rabbit on the shadow, and then I was watching the shadow, and all of a sudden my shadow turned into a source of light. So 1 minute on the wall there's just a dark shadow, as there usually would be, as science says, like a shadow is caused by something blocking the light. That's a shadow. So my hand's meant to be blocking the light. So on the wall it's meant to be dark, but on the wall it was a source of light. Like my shadow was literally a source of light. So I was looking at that, and then I needed to explain it. I needed to make sense of it. So just having that experience straight away, I just started researching, because I wanted to know Like, this don't seem possible, but I'm witnessing it. So how is this possible?
Yeah.
So it made me just start researching. First, I had to research, okay, what is a shadow, to make sure I didn't miss any science class. Yeah, because according to my mind, that's not possible. So then I was just doing the research on Wikipedia. Then I thought, okay, what Google light shadow, and just look out there just to see how I can explain this using science and logic.
Yeah.
And science and logic could not explain it. So then I was just like, oh, I've read and I come across something called an aura. So I was like, oh, okay. So I wonder if that was my aura, but no, aura is the field of light behind something. It
Okay.
still didn't explain that. So it's only 3 years later in my own spiritual development, when I had another experience, but this was quite more of an internal experience, an internal embodiment of feeling the divine frequency of the Most High, God within myself.
Yeah.
So instead of connecting to God as an entity outside of me or in the clouds or in the heavens, I was tapping in to the God that is within me, that is the essence within every single living atom, creature, herb, planet, bird, bee. But I was feeling that within myself, and it was literally just like a big bang happening inside. So just a big burst of light happening within me.
Yeah.
And then from that experience, I looked back to that first supernatural experience, and it all made sense. It made sense that, okay, if my true identity is light, for that moment where I'm having and I'm seeing the reality of the veil and the truth of what actually is, I don't have a shadow. If I am light, I don't have a shadow. So it's almost like back then, to get me out of that low vibration and that low state that I was in, I had to just be like, tap straight into the truth. I just needed some kind of sign or signal to reflect me my true identity, which was light at that time. But because my mind wasn't there yet, spirit was there, spiritual sight, but the mind hadn't had the right, not necessarily the conditioning, but the right words, the right development. So even though I experienced it, I didn't understand it till 3 years later.
Was that through your research? You research that you was doing to understand what it was?
Well, it was my spiritual experience that happened 3 years later.
Oh, okay.
And after experiencing that and that big light that was just coming from within me, then it made sense of what happened 3 years prior.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like I had to have an experiential experience of being light to then make sense of why my shadow turned into light 3 years ago.
Yeah. And what is, with the spiritual healing then, how do you use the spiritual healing, and do you have to be religious, like have a religious basis?
No.
I'd say as long as your intention is to heal yourself and to be open for the healing, and also to release whatever it is that is blocking the life force, because it's the amount of life force that we contain that really determines whether somebody is healthy or ill. The lack of life force is almost deterioration. And then the higher the life force is the vitality. So when someone starts to decrease in that, they start to get ill, they start to have less energy, they start to almost change their mood. So as long as that person is open to releasing whatever is blocking the life force, they can heal no matter what domination or religion they are, because sometimes religion is just faith and belief. So if someone has faith and belief that they have the ability to heal, whether it's in the hands of Krishna, Allah, Buddha, God, whatever you want to call, but because that person said, yes, I have the ability to heal because of whatever permission slip they give them, they've opened that road to healing now. So it's about being open. As long as you're open to healing, the healing can happen.
That's so interesting, that you said that, because I think in society, right, they push religion a lot, right? And the way you've articulated it is about being open to healing, irrespective of, any religious beliefs or whatever. You have to be open to healing, to accept it. And I think because with your journey then, because that first, thing happened, you were open to it. So it took you on that journey. Although it was 3 years, it took you on that journey to understand what happened. Because you was open to it, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's just part of my identity.
Yeah.
So it was almost like me growing into myself. If you've got an apple seed, the apple seed is always going to be an apple, even though when you first looked at it a year back, it looked like something completely different. I feel like we just naturally are. And it's just our ability to grow into whatever we're meant to grow into.
We are spiritual.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I don't believe
everybody.
because someone's religious, they're not spiritual. I believe that spirit exists in every single person.
Spirit,
Some people, it's ignited. You know, like for instance, Jesus talks about, I'm going to spark that flame that's inside of you. I'm that flame and you should follow that.
Yeah.
All he wants to actually do is to allow you to be the alchemist, to allow you to tap into that higher version of yourself, so you can actually be like living, walking, talking like him and healing people and doing this and doing exactly what he did, tapped into his magic and ignited that flame inside of himself. But most of us, we don't see that, so we just automatically want to follow that instead of actually being that.
And you got people,
You know, it's more of a being, exactly.
Worshipping Jesus, and that's not what it's about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you becoming Christ within yourself.
Yeah.
That's what the story's about.
And he came to me in a mushroom ceremony and told me that. And I wasn't religious at that point because from a young age, I've always thought that there was something else because I've always been seeing things from a younger child and always had mad experiences that religion couldn't actually explain, or just says, oh yeah, it's the devil, it's the devil, it's the devil. But the devil also has usage too. You know, people just automatically say, oh yeah, it's the devil, it's really bad, it's really bad. But why do we always want to just push that away? There's obviously something to learn there that isn't there.
Yeah.
You know, there's something there that's necessary for us to actually step into and have a look, because most religions say, oh, the devil's music and this, that, and the other. He brings music and this. Well, if he brings music, music's beautiful, right? Because I sure love to dance to some music, and it can be very healing.
And it can't all be light and that as well.
There you go.
You need the devil.
There you
It's
go.
the balance, the yin and yang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's where the flame's igniting.
Yeah.
The flame's igniting that darkness inside of yourself. But
And
once
you-
it does, you have to see in the nooks and crannies of that darkness and find what else is in there that you need to heal.
And you learn from darkness, innit?
There you go.
You mentioned mushroom ceremony, right? Because you're taking me down this path now. We started the discussion with you, right? Yeah. But mushroom ceremony, what is it?
It's just a space where people can come together and take mushrooms.
Yeah.
Basically, in a nice, calm, relaxed space. That's what ceremony is.
Okay.
You agree?
So, to a degree,
Yeah.
because I agree with what you said, but I feel like there's so much more. It's so much more expansive than what people know. But if you are the shaman in the place and the space holder, you get to see a lot more of that space than the people that are sitting there healing.
Yeah.
So when I say space holder, for instance, like me and Ankhkara hold space for people in ceremony when it comes to various different plant medicines. And it's very beautiful to actually watch the process, because it starts with the opening of the ceremony. So you're opening that ceremony and inviting your guides in, their guides in, and that protection that surrounds that space.
Yeah.
But also for people to see what they need to see. So sometimes it's things that you don't want to see, but it's okay. We got you, and we can make sure that you're okay at that moment and calm you down if you need to and anchor you. So it's the anchoring frequencies of you and your multidimensional self.
Yeah.
And finding parts of yourself that you actually lost, whether it's when you was a child and something traumatic happened and you ran away from your own self at 4 years old, something happened and you locked it into a box.
Yeah.
So there's a 4-year-old you in that box right now that you haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
But you put something in front of it. Let me just push it into the side. It's going to come out sooner or later. But when it does, it may not come out looking pretty. So it may come out looking something like a demon, how they say it as. But once you actually start to heal that and it flakes away, you start to see 4-year-old you inside that and like, whoa, all this time, this was me and I thought it was something haunting me. No, it's just you. It's a part of you that needed healing. So, yeah, it really is a space for a multidimensional mirror to be put in front of your face so you can really see who it is you are, your power, the things you need to be healing, and various other things.
Space where you can release as well, innit?
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely.
Because do you remember what happened with you? Some black bits were coming out of my mouth.
It was that at the ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay.
Must have been basically there's something that I'm holding on to.
Yeah.
Which is some and I was breathing in, and I kept on going. I was going to say something needs to come out, something wouldn't come out. I was going, Then I think, yeah, you got the bucket, and she brought the bucket round to me. It's like the ancestors were telling me to go that way. Kept on pointing me, and it was like a light. So turning around and following it. And it took me to the bucket, and then I was breathing in, sucking in the air, and then those are black bits just started coming out my mouth into the bucket. And then I felt a huge relief after.
Because from we had that conversation, I started doing little research, right? But what I've found is, and I only just started, see, probably because I'm only starting to look into it. There's a lot of health benefits, right, from mushrooms, because now they're starting to talk about, like, in terms of medicines and so forth. But again, for people that are listening, what is the benefits? Because for me, looking back, when you look at mushrooms, it's that psychedelic side of it, right? Where does it fit in now with that kind of like spiritual side and that spiritual healing?
When people say psychedelic, they're automatically thinking hallucination. Where hallucination and psychedelic isn't the same thing. Like that psychedelic aspect, it's allowing you to see into the realms that you don't see into. So me sitting here now, I can feel different realms around us, and I can see certain things around us in my peripherals, in my straight vision. But most people won't be able to, because the third eye isn't active and open in this 3D realm. But once you take those mushrooms, then it activates that third eye inside of you, so you start to see, whether it's internally or externally, different beings, different parts of yourself that need healing. And it is a very healing thing. It's a purging of the soul. It literally purges your soul and clears you up.
And it can clean you out as well.
Definitely. It's a very ancient technology. And I say technology because it really is. But it's also good for anxiety. So microdosing on that for a week, 2 weeks, you'll be able to feel the benefits. Okay, I feel really calm now.
You feel sharp.
Like I don't feel anxious. Like I don't feel scared. You get a different energy of it. But if you take a full load, then that's going to be a good healing ceremony for you. But it might be scary. Some parts of it may be scary, because obviously going into that darkness of self, it isn't always about, love, light, and, fairies. And sometimes you've got to see some stuff that's like, whoa. And I've had some journeys like that.
You got to deal with it.
Exactly. You have no choice. It literally is that.
But do you kind of like warn people as well in terms of, or is there like a discussion that you would have? So say, for instance, if me for the first time, never done anything, right, and decided to go to one of those ceremonies, would I have like a conversations with you all in terms of, okay, then you may see things that may not be pretty. How would you support that?
Yeah, it would be about really communicating with you and identifying your intention first and foremost. Intention is like one of the most powerful, potent and sacred things. Because let's say if a person's intention was just to merely explore, then they're opening the door to everything and everything, because everything and everything exists in all space of time. So if your intention is, you know what, okay, I recognize I've opened my door to spirituality, and I want to actually see the things that are holding me back from being my most true and powerful self, then it's like, okay, because it's about having that conscious communication with the sacred sacrament that you're about to take, because it is a spirit. In this form, you're seeing it as a leaf or a plant, but in actual sense, it is a spirit. So it's always about acknowledging it as a spirit, and acknowledging it as a guide, and acknowledging it as a healer and a helper. And once you acknowledge it, so it will have that relationship with you, because everything in this universe is about relationship. And your experience and what you want to get out of your experience will depend on the relationship that you make with that medicine. So when we go in with such deep love, with reverence and with respect, it's almost like the plant can recognize you as your soul, because your soul has reverence and respect. If you go in on an ego level, the plant can just show you everything that's just in our minds, and our minds can be a crazy place. So when you hear people going, oh my God, I had a bad trip, or I seen somebody trolling, like half the rubbish that is in people's heads, people can take medicine and just see a bag of foolishness, and it's just because it's only showing you what's in your head.
What's in your head already?
Yeah, just
Exactly.
crap that's in your head. But to go deeper than that, it's like, okay, and that's the difference, I guess, between just taking taking a plant medicine or taking a psychedelic and doing ceremony. That there is a difference, because anyone can just break a piece of this and just chew it down and sit on and put whatever on. But then, as Alex Nara mentioned earlier, you're opening a space.
Yeah.
Because if let's say we're having tea now, or we're creating alchemy, we need a container for transformation to take place.
Yeah.
We can't have the tea bag and the water and no teapot.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's nothing to hold, there's nothing to anchor the change, there's nothing to hold the healing. So the ceremony is a space that holds the transformation and holds the healing. And that's why when you can have a ceremony, you're actually having change that you're walking away with. You've rooted and you've anchored stuff. Whereas if you just take things without the ceremony, it can go like in one ear and out the other, like just watching a movie. Like, you've seen this and you've seen that, but it hasn't actually done anything for you. It hasn't affected your life in any way. You've just seen some colours and some visuals.
Yeah, exactly.
You person that watched Netflix. The person just watched the film. It's not had any effect on your DNA or cells.
I find it helps when I take it a lot, but I take it by myself a lot.
Oh, okay.
All the meds and that.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to the ancestors and stuff.
I feel like with mushrooms or psychedelics, like you shouldn't overdo it, because I feel like there's a respect that you need to have for the plant to say, you know, like I've come into this space to have some healing, and there's integration to happen. So in between those spaces, you need to be integrating what you've been told or what you've seen. So if you seen, like you said about junk being in the, you know, oh yeah, I'm just seeing some colours and I'm just seeing this and I'm seeing some crazy stuff. It's because of the junk, and the junk could come from society. So it could have come from, you went into 6 shops yesterday and all those 6 shops had some crazy tunes playing. You've seen some madness happening and you didn't even clear down, meaning have a meditation and clear out what was happening before you went into that ceremonial space. So you took all of that with you into that space and then wondered why you were seeing all of that.
So I put to fast and that
There you go. And just make sure that you're kind of not around too much of a crowd. Like a shaman that does ayahuasca will always tell you, after you come out of ceremony, do not be in big crowds. Do not go to a party. Don't do all of that because you're sensitive. Like when I came out of ayahuasca and I came back to England, I was so sensitive. Literally, I heard an alarm from an ambulance happening outside. I literally started crying. I had to plug my ears because I was so sensitive and open. That my energy was just like, whoa, it was buzzing too much. And I had to just literally shut myself down inward in order for me to actually heal.
It heightens all your senses as well.
Exactly.
Plant medicines.
There you go.
You can hear things
Because
louder,
you're
see
super
things
sensitive,
better,
man.
see things clearer.
But you need integration. So you need space in between. You can't take, I'm going to take it Wednesday and then I'm going to take it Saturday and I'm going to take it Tuesday.
You need
How
that
have you been able
space.
to integrate all the lessons that you've been taught throughout it? Because you're taking it way too much. So now you've got a backlog. And then what happens? You get a crazy trip the next time you take it, and the trip's absolutely crazy, or you get nothing because they shut the door.
What you come back up here for?
They can shut the door on you and tell you, like, why are you here? No matter how much you take. The door's not open for you today because you didn't respect it. I've never had that. The door's never been closed to me because I have that moment of, whoa, that trip was deep. I have very deep trips. I never have a basic trip. Like my first one was very laughter and loads of different like Buddha and loads of different images of people. But by the second one, I was already diving deep. But I really believe it's by the DNA that you've got within you, to how far you go back, to how much you would actually tune in. Because not everybody is going to interact with ancient ones and, you know, go back to the primordial stages. And not everybody can. They'll go back to a certain level. And then they can't get past that wall.
And the mushrooms will just give you what you need anyway as well.
Oh, most definitely.
So when people are saying, I want to get this and that from the mushrooms, you're not going to get that.
Definitely.
It's intention. You can have an intention. But they're going to say, but you need this.
But you need this.
Well, I think it goes back to what you were saying, in terms of it's all about your intentions.
There you go.
Why are you doing it? Right?
Yeah.
And that will dictate the experience. Like if you got bad intentions and you're not doing it from a spiritual healing, a pure place, right? Then you will have those bad experiences. And again, as you said, if you're abusing it and doing it too much, you will have that bad experience.
Yeah, you will.
Because it's a spirit. It's literally alive.
Yeah.
And it will tell you about
Yeah.
yourself. Like, you can't just be taking every single month. I'm just going to be, have you done the work? That's the question.
Ground it.
There's no such thing as an actual bad trip. Every trip is what you need. 'Cause
Oh,
I've had some
okay.
trips that I've been like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? Yeah. Like, how far are you bringing me? Why am I seeing a womb in a womb in a womb? Oh my gosh, I'm clearing every womb that was in my ancestors. Why do I have to do this work? And I'm seeing all these demons around me, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? But it's showing me the attachments from every single womb that I'd ever been in throughout my whole lineage. And it was very deep.
Yeah.
And it literally did, it tapped my mind a little bit. Wow. For a week, I couldn't talk to anybody. I was just silent. Everyone's like, are you good? Yeah. But I needed to integrate. I needed to understand what was happening. Now I get it.
Yeah.
But I needed that moment of integration.
Yeah.
And if I tried to take another one after that, without having that space, I wouldn't have been able to hear what the hell was happening inside of me.
But with the mushrooms and that, it kind of brings all the pieces together and that as well, isn't it?
It does, if you're listening.
Yeah.
And if you're giving enough space for the
Paying attention,
integration.
innit?
Most definitely.
You know, with the integration though, because I want to go on to the wound healing, because you mentioned that a couple of times. I saw that on your post, right? And I wanted to dig into it. But you know, the integration, what is that? When you say integration, is it after you've had that experience, then you have to go and do the work? Is that integrating back into society, you mean?
Well, integration of the certain frequencies and healing and things that have happened throughout that journey.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, if you could be and went and seen a multidimensional part of yourself in a complete different planet, because the different planets exist and people exist on those planets too. So you could go to a different planet and realize that you was this person in a previous life.
Yeah.
But you came here to learn X, Y, Z. So now you've got some integration to do, because it's like, are you doing X, Y, and Z, what you came to learn?
Yeah.
Or are you rebelling against it? And now you try to fix up and, okay, let me turn that around and do this. And now you're integrating because you're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Or it could be you've got a bad relationship with your mom, but you know your mom actually needs love. Do you know she was your daughter in a previous life? It's like, whoa.
Some people
Oh
can
my
come back and
gosh.
do that.
Oh.
And then now you're like,
Yeah.
I understand now. So now you want to go and talk to mommy and make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And you want to talk to her deeply, and you want to talk to her nice. Doesn't matter if she gets mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you with the most love ever, because I know you need it.
Yeah.
There's my integration. It's already happening because I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But if I don't do any of that, what I'm told to do, and then I just jump back in again,
Yeah.
I'm just taking a mick. I'm just taking it as like I'm smoking some weed, or I'm just literally drinking some liquor. I'm just doing it to feel a feeling now.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing it to escape from this realm.
Is that the same as then, right, trying to find your purpose in life? Because I went through a phase, right, where it was like, and I'm sure a lot of people's gone through it as well, where you think to yourself, why there has to be a reason why I'm here, right? I need to find what my purpose is. But you never know what it is. Like, sometimes you rack in your brain to think, why am I here? Or when you've got loved ones that's passed away, why was it them and not me? I'm here for a reason. I'm still here for a reason. Is that the same kind of thing?
I feel like your purpose can change through life, though. I
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't always be one thing. I'm just going to be a presenter my whole single life, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you meant to do that for 10 years because you needed to learn something in regards to that. And
Yeah.
maybe you're going to go on to something completely different 10 years later. You know, but I believe that whatever the soul actually feels like it needs at that moment in time,
At that moment.
what it's enjoying doing, like what gives you so much joy that it doesn't feel like work. Do
Yeah.
that. What do people always come to you for? You know, people always come to me because they want to talk to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, be a mentor. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually speak to people and help them with their lives, because they always come to you for advice.
Yeah.
You know, oh, what do I ask people? Oh, people always come to me for food because I can cook good. Or be a chef, sell food. So these types of things, like, what is it that you love to do without fail? And it's actually amazing for you. And that could last 5 years. And it's like, I don't want to do this no more. That's cool. What's next?
Just constantly creating.
Take it as a ride and a journey.
We're creators.
Yeah.
Literally.
So, yeah.
I think that comes off easy for you though, because you're spiritually in tuned, right, with yourself. But someone that's not probably on a journey, or they haven't experienced that, that's why it may be difficult for them to think, okay, then do something that you enjoy. It's
It's not that easy though as well, because you got to survive in that as well. A lot of people have got to work, so it takes them away from that.
That's what they're
Don't
thinking.
understand.
I need to pay a bill, or I need to, you know, do rent, but not even realize they will actually be looked after. Like you're always looked after, no matter how much you think, oh yeah, but I'm gonna struggle here. No, you're not.
You
Because
get
you're
it
putting
through
that
it,
into
innit?
play
Yeah,
now.
so what you put into the
Yeah.
universe, what you're gonna get back. So if you think, oh
Exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna struggle in that, but
Yeah.
then my job, then that's what's gonna happen.
The boomerang
Feel
effect
me?
is always in play. I say it
Yeah.
all the time. The boomerang effect is always in play.
Yeah.
So what I'm giving out in action, what I'm giving out in emotion, what I'm giving out in
Comes
mental,
back. Yeah.
may not come back tomorrow, but it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Sometimes as well, it's just looking at it like your purpose is actually just who you actually are.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with having to like fit into a certain box or do a certain career. It's like, no, my purpose is more in line with who I am. So it allows a person to actually look into themselves and actually value themselves on who they are, rather than looking and trying to value themselves on who they could be and then trying to reach something that they aren't yet and thinking, no, I'm not on purpose because I'm not doing this or I'm not over there. It's like, no, you as a baby, you were born in purpose.
Yeah.
Like you were on purpose. It's just about retaining all your divine attributes and retaining and remembering who you are and realizing the value in who you are. Because there's maybe little things that we've all got these divine attributes that we carry, but when we've got a lot of doubt over it, when we've got a lot of disbelief in ourselves over it, so sometimes it's not even about finding something else, it's about actually uncovering, taking off the doubt, taking off the disbelief, removing the anxiety and seeing who is underneath that all. And when you move all that, then you're actually able to embody the purpose, because it's like a seed, like it's within you. You already are it. So it's just about removing the blockages that hinder you from being able to walk your path, because it's all in your body, it's all in your DNA, it's all in your cells. So it's like, okay, how can I trust my intuition? How can I even tap into my intuition? So the clearer we are, the more we can actually hear that call, the more we can listen to our gut instinct that's telling us to go catch that bus or go link that friend. Because a lot of the time it's so unconscious, like this script and this role that we've come here to play, it's so unconscious, and we just almost have to go with our own flow. And like leave, like the mind tries to like control and force and colonialism and all that, and it's like, nah, just be, man, because we are divine as we are. Like that is the ancestral way. It's the way of being.
You know what's happened though, right? Just listening to that, social media has played a big part though in people wanting to be what they see out there, because it takes a high level of confidence, as you said, for someone to say, look, be you, like be yourself, like be your divine self, isn't it? It's difficult in today's society now.
Yeah, because social media is telling you to be this and be like that. And you should, like, look like this. And if you're in a relationship, the relationship should look like that. And it's not that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most people don't know who they are, though.
And they don't know who they are.
Most people actually don't, because they've picked up so much from the friend that they chill with every single day. You know, they start talking like them, walking like them, acting like them. Literally become a chameleon, and wherever they are, they just fit into this and fit into that. But who are you? If you was in a hut in the middle of freaking forest, you know what I mean? What would you wear? What would you eat? What would you actually do? Would you read? Would you do this? So you have to start asking yourself who it is that you are and take up room. Being that individual, because I think the people that take up room are the ones that you'll walk in and someone will feel intimidated by them straight away, because they've got that strut, they've got that strut of confidence, and it's like, yo, I know who I am, so I'm anchored into my body so much so that nothing can knock me off my square, and I'm walking in like, I'm taking up room. Those are the people that really know who they really are.
And a lot of people don't like being by themselves or sitting with themselves.
They can't.
You know what I mean?
They can't.
It's like people need attachments. They need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what takes you away from finding out who you really are. Because you can't sit around people, can't sit around things. You know what I mean? So you have to take that time for yourself.
I have to step away to recharge. If I don't, I'll probably get very quiet. So what's wrong with you? Nothing. I just need to go internal for a moment. But
Go and say it.
Go for a walk in nature. That works for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll talk to nature.
Well, nature's alive, so why not?
You get me?
I remember I was on DMT and I saw how alive it actually was. That was
There's a
Wow.
different world going on
Yeah.
in the plant kingdom that we can't see.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're on the plant medicine, you can see it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
On the DMT,
I
I
feel
literally
trees
seen the
bending with me.
faces. I seen the faces of the
When I'm hugging
trees.
them, they're bending with me. I see
With the
faces
trees and-
yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I'm connecting. I touched the tree the other day and I was on the shrooms and I felt like I went inside of the tree.
Yeah.
And then I went small and I was walking on it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful. They're always old as well. They're always old, wise souls.
Yeah.
Like I saw the faces of some in my friend's garden. He's a shaman and I did a DMT ceremony with him. Because I only let certain people, I only hold space with certain people. I can't
Yeah.
hold space with everybody.
Yeah.
If I'm healing and I'm in that shaman mode, then yeah. But
Yeah.
if I'm taking them, then I can't be around everyone. But doing it with him, when I was out in the garden after, I felt this moment where I need just shut up, and he was like, "You need to go outside, right?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He said, "Okay, let me take your socks off." Gone outside, and I was like, "Whoa!" I saw the grids on the floor where there was literally there's these grids that are on the floor that can connect you to more of the energy that's literally going through nature. And as
Yeah.
I've looked at the trees, a face popped
Like
up
you
on every
communicate
single
through that,
tree.
starts really
I was just like,
vibrant.
Yeah.
how is there this? How is there every face on here? I just don't. I start talking to them and they're talking back, and I'm like, "Thank you for every single thing you do." And they're like, "Yeah, well, thank you for what you're doing and what you're doing now."
Yeah.
And I start talking to his chickens, and I'm like, "Oh my god, everything's talking back
What
to
happened
me."
with me with the bee?
Creepy.
Did I tell you about the bee thing with me? And the bee. So I must have went on a trip and that.
Yeah.
And basically, I only took a note for thinking, "No, it's not going to touch me."
Yeah.
It touched me. So I must have went downstairs now. And I seen a bee sitting by the door and thinking, why is this bee just there? It's not moving from the door.
Yeah.
And then for me, trip like a bit of a trip. I sat down with the bee. So I sat down with the bee and the bee just stayed there and it's not moving.
Yeah.
And I started saying, "So what are you here for then?" And then it communicated me and said to be articulate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then before that, a word kept on coming in my head that said, it's a word that means bringing together. Oh, I can't remember what the word is now. But it said to be articulate. Oh, it'll come back to me anyway. But it kept on putting a word kept on coming into my head, and I kept on thinking, why is this word keep on coming into my head?
Yeah.
And then I sat with the bee, and then the word that the bee told me, it rhymes with the word that was
coming
my
into
head.
it.
And it was like a message, and it made sense.
Yeah.
To be articulate, because at that time I wasn't articulate enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the bee sat there for a good half an hour, and just wouldn't move. So
Yeah.
spirit talks through insects, animals, everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And bees flow with the natural
Okay.
form
Yeah.
of the world anyway, because obviously there's different patterns that we probably don't see anyway. But for instance, there's one within the sky, and it literally looks like hexagons joined together,
Yeah.
and that's what bees make. They make that same thing when it comes to their honeycomb.
Oh, yeah. The cold
universe,
honey.
So
Yeah.
they're flowing on the blueprint of what this world's actually
Divine
created
Mother.
and made up of.
Yeah.
You know, they're tapped all the way in like animals are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cats, they can see in so many different realms, and they can really see any
cats
type
can
of beings that
definitely,
are in the space. They'll be able to see them, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
dogs can pick up on a lot of things.
Yeah.
They say that, you know, they
more
say
in
that dogs,
tune.
dogs can pick up on a lot of stuff, they
They
say.
pick up on good energy as well.
I
Yeah.
think cats are next level though.
Yeah, cats are
They
next
walk
level.
within those 9 dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they
they're
said, the
different,
9 lives
man.
and that, innit?
Yeah, 9
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
You know, the wound healing, right? Because you've mentioned that. I want to know more about the wound healing and what do you do? What is it basically?
Okay, so with the womb, it's such a deep aspect of creation. Like we all come from a womb, and the way that there are memories contained within the womb, and the womb is a portal for life to even come through.
Yeah.
So as it's a portal, it's almost like a vortex. So
Yeah.
it's something that sucks in, especially being inside a feminine temple. It's something that sucks in. So something that's always receiving
Yeah.
needs to be cleansed.
Yeah.
It needs to be kept clean. It needs to be detoxed.
Yeah.
So with the womb healing now, that's a way where women can come and detox past emotions, past energy, residual from other partners,
Yeah.
energetically, spiritually, emotionally,
Yeah.
physically. They can get the armoring, which is when inside the womb, inside the yoni, it actually starts to become very hard. And this is when women cannot feel pleasure. So they'll be
Okay.
having intercourse with their partners and not be able to feel anything. And this is because they've put on armor to try and protect themselves, but this same armor is now blocking out connection from their partner.
Okay.
So they can't feel any kind of intimacy. They can't feel love because
Yeah.
they've put a wall up. So doing the womb healing is a way to dissolve this wall, but not only dissolve it, but a lot of what creates the wall in the first place is tension
Okay.
and stress.
Yeah.
So in the womb healing, you're literally releasing the tension, releasing the stress, releasing the negative emotions, the sorrow, the regret, the guilt. One of the women that I worked with last, she had a cesarean.
Yeah.
And because that was her first child, she was really looking forward to giving birth in what she called like a proper way.
Yeah.
And because she had a cesarean, she felt like she'd done something wrong and she didn't get to have this experience, and she was carrying so much pain and guilt and regret and shame in her body that before her body had completely froze. It was completely numb. She couldn't feel any pleasure or any sensation because of this emotion she was carrying. So when she did the womb healing with me, it was really about creating that space, that safe container where she could really access the emotion that she built up this wall.
Yeah.
And she built up a wall around her body, and that's why she wasn't able to feel any pleasure or any sensation or any even joy. So it's really deep, especially with the emotions that we can hold in the heart as well. So when the heart holds all this pain and all this ache, again, we build this ice wall around us, and then we wonder why we can't feel any joy, we can't feel any passion, we can't get excited about anything. We end up being in depression, and it's because there's a big, deep wall in the heart. And the moment when we come to have that healing, and again, there's that safe space, and we start to press on certain places in the body and give that person permission to make sound, that person permission to release. Because in society, we're constantly doing things. We have to keep our stuff together. We have to grit our teeth and bear it. We have to hold it all in. And that holding it all in is driving us crazy and making us very sick and ill and making us numb. May as well be walking around like zombies. So part of the work that I do is literally healing those emotions so we can come back to life and we can feel. Because the moment when someone starts to have that emotional release in that session, they start to cry, they start to shout, they start to scream, they start to move their body and really release like whatever they've been holding on to. Release it. The moment they release it, there's so much space in their body for their soul to accommodate. Like that person comes to life. It's like a resurrection. Like it's very deep. Very deep.
I think people need to release as well. Need to move the bodies more as well, especially yoga. I find that yoga helps a lot.
You're
You
right,
can
you
cry
know.
in yoga positions.
Do you know what? I only realized because when we did an episode with Black Rose Yogini, Black Rose spoke about the energies that you keep in your legs.
Yep.
And I didn't know anything about that. And she said that literally people cry, you know, as you've mentioned, people cry when you start releasing energies in your legs and so forth. I didn't even know anything about that.
Stagnant energy for years.
It's happened to me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You have to open up that space for a while. Like, it isn't just something, one yoga session.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You have to do it over a while. And you start opening slowly. Because the nervous system holds on to a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
So just like Ankara was just speaking about, there's a lot of points of the body that hold on to memory. Like, the body holds memory. So when we think, something that happened 10 years ago, it's gone now. Your body still has it.
body
You
still
can't
has it.
release it.
Or even
You
something
know.
that you thought wasn't like trauma.
It's true.
major.
Yeah,
Little
most
things.
definitely.
Little thing that
Yeah,
happens
can
and
hold
you
on to
don't
and not even
realize.
realise in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of blockages as well.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Makes you behave differently too.
Creativity as well. You can block
Yeah.
that as well.
So interesting. When I was on a training there was another woman that she really connects to the body and she does healing, but it's by tapping in energetically to what the body's saying, because the body's continuously speaking.
Yeah.
And she let me into an insight that I didn't know. So I had some trauma around when I was a baby, and my parents took me to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
And basically, because they took me to be vaccinated, it created distrust when people go to that side of the body where I received the vaccination. And she pointed this out after, which did like this kind of experiment. She got somebody to like come next to me. I didn't even witness, I didn't know that I did this, but they come next to me and they were going like this on my body. I didn't know, my body was just moving. I didn't even know what they were doing. And then she got someone to come on the other side of me and done the same, and my body was just still. So it showed that my body subconsciously, not even consciously, was reacting, and was, as soon as that person come there, my energy just shifted from that, you could say, from that traumatic wound. What happened when did I have my vaccination? It must have been like 18 months. This is something that happened, like, it happens to loads of children. So it just shows that your body holds that level of memory, and that created a distrust every time somebody is on this side of me. So it's like, now I know that and I'm aware of that. That's not something that has to say. That's something that I can work on and clear.
Yeah.
I can clear that traumatic experience and that traumatic memory from that side of my body now to balance things out. But it's just like, raw, like, it's that deep.
That's
It really
deep.
is
No,
that
no,
deep.
I'm thinking, you know, as you're speaking, right, I'm thinking about, like, when you look back at childhood vaccinations, and sometimes, especially, I've got kids, right, so when you bring the younger ones for their vaccination, you're literally holding them to have that vaccination. But if you think about it, having spoke about that, what's going through their mind in terms of that trauma, they may hold on to that.
That's betrayal. Like, you're meant to be looking after me, letting some white can't jock me up. That's betrayal. I don't trust you. We can't trust the world.
No, you're right. You
And
know.
like, what are they putting into me?
You are.
I stopped my son from getting most of his vaccinations. Tried to get social services, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. It's not good.
It's reflecting back now. You think about it more. You think about it, but as the conversation we're having, society kind of leads you down a path where you're subconsciously doing something until you grab yourself.
Most
You're
definitely.
just reacting to life.
Push you on autopilot. Like, you can live your life as a nice member of society on autopilot. What? You don't need your brain. You don't need to think.
Like
Do
a
what everybody
robot.
else is doing.
And that's when this whole experience, that's when the whole experience becomes a waste of time.
Yeah.
Because you're not being yourself and you're not finding out what you really meant to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're just following everybody else, what's the point?
And what you said, you're repeating behaviors from when you was a child. You're repeating that now. You don't even realize you're still repeating that behavior of to move instantly when someone comes to that side of your actual body. Because I've realized lately, I started to look at NLP and like literally hypnotism and changing up the mind and subconscious mind. And I noticed that whenever I'd walk past something and I'd look in a mirror, I'd literally do this with my ear as I'm doing it. And I'm like, okay, what is that? Why do I do that? Don't overthink it. Then I started tapping in more and I'm like, okay, well, what are you feeling when you do it? I'm actually feeling like shame, like someone's watching me at that time. Okay, well, why are you feeling shame? I don't know. You're looking in the mirror and you're feeling shame. Yeah, I feel like someone's going to be looking at me like, why am I looking in that mirror?
Yeah.
Am I just, am I, what's the word to look? Am I vain? Or am I this and that? I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize I was thinking those feelings. A week later, I see a picture of me, 3 years old. What am I doing? And I'm literally doing it on the same ear, in the same position, at the same point. And we're taking a picture at that time. And I'm like, wow. So I've been doing that from then. How long ago was I doing it before that? And why did it even start in the first place?
Yeah.
So all these behaviors start to,
Don't you think, like, if you don't address even these little things, it can affect the next life?
Does the soul stay with these things in the next life? That's an interesting one. I definitely believe that there's certain things that we came here to learn from the previous life. Yeah. Maybe, for instance, I know it sounds crazy, but maybe you was a human that basically treated a dog really bad.
Yeah.
and then now you're the dog in this
Yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Now you've got to be treated really bad, so you can see what that felt like to be in that person's position. Because there's a lot of people that have near-death experiences, and they always explain the same kind of thing. Oh, I seen this basically image that showed me what happened in my previous life.
Yeah.
And it showed me what happened in this life and what I was doing to people and what that person felt like when I shouted at them.
Yeah.
Or what that person felt like when I said these words that I didn't really mean.
Yeah.
Now you have to be put in that position so you can actually see from that angle. Because there's 360 degrees to all angles. So I'm like, now you have to be put in that position. You know,
Yeah.
like, I want to learn love. Okay, well, I'm going to put you in this position for your heart to be broken. No. I said I wanted to learn love. Yeah, but you need your heart broken so you know what love is.
Yeah.
No, I want to learn patience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you in queues every single day for the rest of your life. You're going to be in a queue,
Yeah.
you know, and you're going to have to learn patience now.
Yeah.
And when you learn it, maybe you graduate to a next section of it. Maybe, you know, maybe you actually get a reward.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because there's
Yeah.
levels, now there's levels to this one, definitely.
It's a computer game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Just
a
like a
game. You
computer
gotta play it
game.
right.
Do you think, right? If say for instance, then right, you've got all the learning, right? Do you think if you don't implement some of these changes, as you said, right, in the other life, do you feel that we're not going to live our fullest life in the other realm? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but what I'm trying to get at is,
Everything you do in this life creates a karmic effect in it.
yeah,
So it's going to carry on until you learn. And it's going to keep on coming and coming. That's how I see it anyway.
yeah,
So if I'm not learning from something in this life right now,
yeah,
come back to me in the next life before
Yeah.
deal with that.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
definitely. I've got this little thing where I feel like, you know, I don't know if you ever like lucid dreaming. So when you're dreaming, sometimes we're dreaming and we're just in the dream, we're in our sleep, having our experience, just fully in the dream until we wake up and then we're like, okay, I'm awake. And other times we're dreaming and we're conscious in that dream, we know we're dreaming and we're like, wow, I'm dreaming. So this means I can fly or I can do this or I can do that. Like you're just having the experience being conscious. And I feel like that's with like the life and death thing and with the living life to the fullest in the next life. I feel
Yeah.
like if you are able to wake up in this life and be lucid, then when you go to your next, 'cause remember, I feel like a lot of us have had an experience of waking up. It's almost like there was a point of time where we were just in autopilot until like we just started to get more lucid until more, and now it's like, oh my God, like we're awake in this reality.
Yeah.
So I feel like as long as you wake up now, when you go into your next life, I really do feel like you'll carry that awakeness and you won't have to go through the being asleep and having to wake up. It's like now we're awake, like we're lucid, we're activating our car for a reason.
Yeah.
So they talk about like your Macabre in ancient Kemet, and this is your light body. And if you are able to activate this light body, when you can travel through different dimensions of time and dimensions of space anyway, because it's a light and light travels. But also when you die, you know when they say they see a soul leaving the body and they photograph it, a lot of the times in these scientific experiments they've seen light, literally light leaving the body as a
Oh.
person's died.
Yeah.
So back to us, that light
with
thing.
light, yeah.
So if you are awake within that already, so when you are leaving, it's like
Yeah.
you can navigate now because you're awake, you're not asleep.
Oh,
You're not just 1 minute wake up and like, oh baby, like what the hell, like where am I? Like
His body
now we're
limits
like,
us to what we
yeah.
actually can do.
and when
Yeah.
you read about a lot of the sacred sages, a lot of sacred people like Haile Selassie, Krishna, there's a lot of saints in India. Like whereas young children, they're awake. They can tell you what they did last life. They could tell you why they're here. This person's 7. They're fully conscious. They're fully awake.
Yeah.
Fully awake because they've carried that from the previous lifetimes.
And what they've been taught
And
in this
Selassie,
lifetime. They haven't actually been
Carried it
doled down.
through.
yeah,
Carried it through. They're awake.
Yeah, so that's it. The way connected
It's
with
very
animals,
powerful.
like lions.
He was awake, man.
Used to walk with lions
yeah,
and all sorts of animals, any tigers, everything.
Remember.
Most people don't even, they say they don't dream. Everyone
Yeah.
dreams. You're just not remembering. You're just not
You're just not
literally
remembering,
aware
yeah.
of it.
You jump in timelines.
I
as
remember
well.
every dream, and it's always very deep. Like my dreams lately have been so deep. I'm
yeah,
feeling what's happening in the dream as if it's physically happening to me now.
Yeah. Is that a worry, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't dream a lot, right? And is it because, right, I'm not in that spiritual awareness or that consciousness? And the dream, I'll tell you what, I don't know if anybody else in the room's experienced it. The one dream that frightens me, though, and I can, it's probably happened to me 3 times in my lifetime, is when, you know, when you're awake, right? But you can't
move.
You can't move.
I was gonna say.
I don't know what it. I don't know what it is, right? And I don't know if it. And it frightens me. I don't know if it's just me or everybody else has that dream.
Like,
but
it's what is it? It's like sleep private. What's it?
Yeah, sleep paralysis is
is that what it is?
I think
The
there's
scientific
more to it.
word
There's
is-
more to it.
yeah.
I think we can astral travel if we
Yeah.
let go, and a lot of us are scared, so we panic and we come out of it.
Because I'm literally
You're waking up in between.
I'm literally like fighting to.
You're waking up in between realms. You're conscious and
Okay.
unconscious at the same time. So it's like you're in that moment of, I want to go to sleep. Oh shit, but I can actually observe what's happening around the room.
Yeah.
Like I need to actually get up and wake up. So,
You can
I might
literally
actually see
what's
things.
going on. You can see what's going on,
You
but
can-
it feels like someone's holding me though, and I'm trying to get up, and
You
I'm
can actually
really
leave your body,
forcing
though.
myself to get up.
People have actually left the body, just letting go, doing it.
Is it?
Yeah.
There is a lot of things you can do with that, but it's just to remember. Sometimes it's hard to actually remember to tell yourself.
Because you've just
It's
panicked,
okay,
can't
just
breathe
relax,
and-
man. You got
Yeah.
this, you're good.
Yeah.
If you got your guides and you got like whatever it is that you use, oh yeah, God's protecting me, yeah, my guides are protecting me, yeah, my partner that passed away is protecting me, whatever it may be. If you're
Yeah.
protected like that, then why are you worried?
Yeah.
Nothing can't enter your space because you're protected like that. So
Yeah.
let go and see what happens.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of us are so used to that security blanket being there.
That's what it is, you know.
Like, want a net to catch
what
us
it
here, but
is,
what
you know.
if? No, there is no what if because this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I've had that from a young age.
Is it?
Same.
Yeah, sleep paralysis.
I was scared to go to sleep. I used to tell my
And
mum I
I
don't
was
want to
as
go
well.
to sleep. Or if
Yeah.
I slept on a certain way with my body, if I slept like tried to sleep on my
Yeah,
stomach,
same with me as
Yeah.
well.
with my if my face is in the pillow or the covers over my face,
Yeah.
it's definitely happening to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to have it all the time.
I'd see like portals as well.
The last ones have been very deep.
Mm.
Yeah, the latest ones have been very deep, very interesting.
You see, right, it's going back to, as you said, right, I got you. Because some people, everyone wants that safety net, innit? And it's about just letting go, innit? Just letting go and saying, do you know what? It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
It's like being an entrepreneur and using your last £200 to go and buy stock.
yeah.
Like you're just actually, there's no safety net there. You're not thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I got work, so I'm gonna get that money at the end of the month. No, there is no safety net. It's just you having that vision and actually pushing it to life and making sure that you make it work. So when you do that now, and then it works, then what? You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this actually works. Now's the next level. Now let us go in harder.
Yeah.
Most of us don't want to really let go and actually live.
That trust is living, innit? It is living.
Literally.
Wow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. We've gone. Oh, I knew this was gonna happen. You know, I knew this was gonna happen because it's an interesting. Do you know what though? Before we wrap up, because I do want to know this, because when we're speaking, all of it links to health, innit? Right, like the spiritual side and the food side, and especially when we was talking about depression, anxiety, trauma, it does have an impact on your health and your well-being. But why is it that this is not pushed a lot more in terms of like the holistic, the spiritual side of it?
Because they want you on their medication. That's why. They don't.
Pharmaceuticals will lose money
Yeah.
and religion will lose the grip that they have on you. So many people in many different ways are going to actually lose out.
Yeah.
And they don't actually want to do that. It's like they don't want you to actually be
You
your
need you to
own
be sick.
person.
Yeah,
Do you know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to actually be the king of you. I don't want you to actually be the boss of you.
Yeah.
I want to actually be able to do that. I want to tell you
Yeah.
to come and give me this money so I can buy this big house.
Yeah.
And I'm the pastor, but I ain't really telling you what's really cracking. Most of these pastors actually know. You know, they actually do study and look into these things and they know what they're actually doing. They have the congregation that they actually, hang over and say, yeah, if you do this, Jesus will give you this, Jesus will give you that.
But they're not really.
You have to give it for yourself.
Yeah.
But the Bible does tell you that the plants is your medicine. The
Herbs are
will
the
be your
healing of the
medicine,
nature.
but people are just ignoring that.
Most
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
And some of the things are so basic. So basic. There's some basic stuff that you can use to heal stuff.
Yeah.
Like when people have got really dark nails on their toes. Like it's literally fungus.
Yeah.
And then using stuff like some coconut oil with 2 drops of freaking basil oil. It sounds mad, but them type of things work. Some tea tree oil drops in there. And just rub that on that toe. And just keep doing that for a couple of weeks. Like those stuff, I'm all for it. So I do a lot of studying, a lot of looking into, a lot of experimentation on self.
Yeah.
So I can help other people too. You know, it's not just about me doing it for self. I've come here to enlighten others and help others heal themselves. It's not about me healing you. You have to heal you.
You know what it is? It's about accessibility though as well to the stuff, right? Because a lot of the things, as you said, you have to research it and you know experiment and that. But it's not really easily accessible because even speaking to you when you was talking about the things that you done with you know even your own health stuff and how you change things around even with your skin and so forth. You had to go and research that and look into
But I
it.
had to listen to my body as well.
Yeah.
There you go. That part.
And what I realised about the stuff that I'm taking, it grows in your back garden.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? We're just not educated enough about the plants that are out there.
And the things
The
that you
UK
really
is
need
full
are
of medicine.
Yeah.
the things that you really need are in your surroundings because that's your environment, isn't it? So if it's your environment and that's the air you're breathing in, right there, that's what you actually need at that moment in time.
When I tell people about nettles, they're like drinking nettles. They're like, drinking nettles? Well, you just pick them and drink them. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Normal.
And nettles are everywhere.
Do you know what I mean? But people haven't been educated the right way about them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think, oh, yeah, if I touch a nettle, this is going to happen. And, oh, don't touch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But most people don't even know when you touch it what to do to clear up the stink.
And there's other plants around there that clear it up.
Yeah, there is. Dock leaf.
That grow out.
Dock-
Even
like,
in the
if you
street
pick a
between the
dock
cracks of the
leaf,
rocks and that.
You pick a dock leaf after getting stung by that and rub yourself down with the dock leaf.
Yeah.
Clears it up.
So it clears it up.
Because it's
most
quite
people don't know.
cultural. Because I remember knowing this stuff as like a child, like playing in the back garden.
Yeah.
So I think the more we connect with our culture,
Yeah.
it's very ancestral, it's very cultural. Like a lot of people's grandmas, like your grandma's coming and she had this bush and that bush and they're giving you bitters every Sunday. So the more you tune into like Jamaican culture, African culture, it's all there. Like it is all there in the culture. So it's about, okay, what am I investing in? Am I investing in watching an hour of Netflix, or am I investing in watching an hour of Dr. Sebi? Because the information age is everywhere. So anything you want to know, you can just Google it now.
Yeah,
Totally.
You can just Google it. So there's no excuse.
Even though I'm not going to lie, Google ain't the same as it was 2012.
No, it's not, because
in
a lot
2012,
of it's
that
licensed.
was very, very open. There was so much that you could find like that. Now you got to dig.
Oh, yeah,
dig,
there's
dig,
always
dig,
I've
dig,
got to
dig.
use alternative platforms for Google to look up things. for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can't trust Google anymore.
Yeah.
Because they control Google.
But we knew it was going to happen. It was going to censor it
Same with YouTube as well.
certain
Censor
times,
them.
especially when everyone starts,
Waking
asking
up.
questions.
Mm.
Because I wouldn't say everyone's awake, but most people ask questions,
Yeah.
But that's what they're trying to get a grip of, because people are waking up massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, sensory information and fact checkers. And like, I went to follow someone the other day on Instagram and it come up, are you sure you want to follow this person?
Wow.
They say a lot of things that aren't actually information. I'm like,
Definitely.
is this what it's
I
supposed to
definitely
be?
following that person.
I'm like, follow? If Babylon don't want me to follow them, I'm going to follow them.
Yeah.
What we were
But
saying
it's so
about
interesting now.
things like being cultural and stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like we need to make sure we're going to Jamaica and go and sit in them hills, with the people that whether it's family or not, and go learn some stuff. Because when I went a few months ago, I learned so much.
Can learn a
So many
lot.
different herbs that were showing me, and I'm like, "What's that one for? What's this one for?" He's like, "Yo, this one's for your fallopian tubes." I said, "What?" It's like when people are finding it hard to actually have a baby, just get them to drink this for a week.
Yeah.
Them soon have baby straight away, and I was like, "What?"
Well, like
Instantly,
grandparents,
yeah,
our
like that.
grandparents, parents before know all this. We just
Yeah.
lost our way.
taught to use
ourselves.
We've definitely lost
My
our
nan
way.
and that, my
Grandma.
nan and my people before that, my mum and that was saying to me, yeah, your nan used to give us CMOS. She used to give us all these different things and all that. And then it just got lost. Everybody stopped doing it and just went on to this Western diet.
Yes,
Started taking
colonialism.
Western medication. That's why a lot of people are dying
Yeah.
as well.
Go back to your
Just
roots.
Definitely
diet,
lost
man.
our
Yeah, the
way.
diet.
Yeah.
Stay eating some crazy stuff and they never actually deal with their stuff, like their traumas and that. Most things that happen in black households, there's a lot that happens and some of it is very traumatic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to keep it 100 now. Most people have got that one uncle that's touched a few of his freaking nieces or his sister or some crazy stuff like that, and it gets deep. And then that sexual abuse literally goes down the line before you actually know it because it's never been dealt with and healed with. It's like, brush it under the carpet. That doesn't really matter. Shh. You know, talk them things I wrote. Shh. And it's like, yo, we need to actually speak because if we don't speak and everyone's silenced, there's that woman over here, that child over here, and they're all suffering inside mentally because of what you did and can't be in an actual relationship that's good for them and end up choosing abusive partners because that's what they know.
Yeah.
And it's literally deep when it comes to black families. It's really
And
bad.
not just that, we're talking about the households or the way that they bring up the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that too. That too.
That's a lot of trauma as well.
Is that a lot of
That's a
trauma?
part
And
of
even the silenceness, as you were saying, brushing it under the carpet, not speaking about it is even worse
Yeah.
because you're walking around with
There
that
you
and you
go.
can't, you're scared to say something to someone because of how the family, you don't want to hurt the family. You're
scared
kind
to-
of stuck in the middle.
He's scared to say something to her family and with the way they react. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Why? Shut him up? Or do you know what I mean? So you shut
Yeah.
down straight away.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's trauma as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Some
I mean?
of that stuff happened in my
hasn't been
family,
dealt
man.
with.
It was mad. And
you know
my
what I mean?
sister literally outed it all.
Yeah.
Uncle got locked up, everything. And I was like, look at that. I'll rate her. Because she literally just pushed herself and said, you know what? I don't care how many years ago it was. I'm going to make sure that you pay for this.
Yes.
And she did it. My nan hated it. Some of my other family members hated it.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even interact with me now just because it's my sister. And it's like, this is mad. How can you actually think that's okay? You know, like, why are you really choosing sides like this? But this is what ends up happening if it doesn't get dealt with. Because
Definitely.
the grandma, you know, the grandfather, whether it's the big uncle, everyone needs to sit down and have these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happened? What's going on?
A lot of them they just don't listen to the younger people because they think that they know more because they're older as well.
Yeah, but it's like
Can't
them
deal
kind
with
of
the
things.
shame.
They can't, and
And most of them, they've had it happen to them.
yeah,
And you don't even realise they've had it happen to them in their households. And they're like, I saw it go. No, it's not I saw it go. Because you've had it happen when you're in yard because it's supposed to be the norm. It's actually not healthy because it goes into the lineage and people don't understand. It's not just stopping there.
And from beating,
Someone then picks it up because it's wired into the actual system of their DNA.
Yeah.
and from beating, you know what we was talking about, that Jamaican parents, the way they beat the kids and stuff like that as well. That's
Yeah.
like trauma as
The
well.
way they may talk to you as well.
I think it makes a lot of our men aggressive as well.
Yeah, because you can't even open up the conversation. Then, you know, like if you're feeling like psychologically, you're feeling a little bit vulnerable, you can't even have that conversation because when you open that conversation, it's like, fix off, what's wrong with you? Sort it out, and shut it down quick.
Exactly.
Nurturing, I think.
If a little
Yeah.
boy drops and busts his knee, what is it straight away? Get up,
Get
ya
up,
boy,
boy.
pitney.
Nah.
Yeah.
Ya boy, get up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get me? We are crying for ya boy, pitney. Why are you dealing with him like that?
It's a
And
way
then
to
when he
get
gets
it.
older, he
Child.
actually doesn't know how to process his emotions. He gets into a relationship, and that woman's looking at him like, "Yo, I'm trying to talk to you here.
Yeah.
I've been taught to shut off when it comes to emotions. This is all I know. This is how I understand. Now he can't communicate because I've been told to just shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, pitney for see and not here. Like, I've been told to do that. So this is what I've taught myself. But you have to get yourself out of that as you start to get older because that's the only way that you're going to have great relationships with self and with others. Because now you can express yourself to that person. They can express themselves to you and you end up growing together.
It's that discipline, you know, because going back to what we were saying earlier on, if you abuse something, right, it's not good for you. So even when you're disciplining your children or how you're talking to them, right, you have to balance it. If someone falls over, your boy Pitney, get up. You can't just deal with them like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you're making that person so hard
Definitely.
that they can't open up themselves to any love, isn't it?
Ask them if
Most
if they're
definitely.
okay and,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Simple little things.
And then they feel ashamed from
Yeah.
their own emotions and push them away. And it's like,
Exactly.
well, if If you keep pushing away your emotions, and one day it's gonna bottle up so big and explode.
Yes.
And it's gonna come out in an unhealthy way.
Like a madness.
So it's like,
And they get locked up, and that's how it happens, you know.
Or end up in a mental institution.
They need to be able to release their emotions.
Yeah. There's a lot of healing, a lot of healing. But that's why these conversations are important, you know. Because I guarantee, right, if you didn't touch on that topic, someone watching this now, they will be going through it and they'll think to themselves, do you know what? Someone's already they've spoke about that, so it's okay for me. It may empower them to take that step and have a conversation with their family. That's why
if you're in a
important.
Caribbean household, you've definitely had that experience.
Yeah.
Definitely. There is no if, buts, or maybes. I'm not having it. There's something happening in your family
Yeah.
that no one's ever spoke about and brushes under the carpet.
Yeah.
You know, you always get bandied up by you. Shut up. And like most women in black households, they deal with their son in a way where he becomes the man of the house. A son is not a man of the house. Like, he should never be put in that position because you're treating him like your partner now, and you're putting in them responsibility roles that he shouldn't actually ever be in.
Yeah.
So now the way you're dealing with him is a different dynamic. It's a different actual relationship.
Yeah.
And that's unhealthy too. You know, that is very unhealthy because that boy becomes attached to that mom. But yeah, these things, we could go on for ages.
We could go. Do you know what? Right before we go, then because what I do want to know, leave some gems with us, right, in regards to, as you said, there's things in our back garden that can help us, like, you know, plants and so forth. What is your go-to then that you would say? All right, if somebody wanted to, you know, have a certain plant or something, what gem can you leave with us?
I'd want to say dandelion automatically. Like dandelion and dandelion root automatically came because that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not in your back garden, it's going to be on the side of a road or something.
Yeah.
What's the
in a
benefits
park.
of it?
Oh, dandelion root is very interesting. It's a detoxing.
Yeah, very deep.
Like, it detoxes the body.
Yeah.
Do you know, the liver, the kidneys, it detoxes the body thoroughly. And a lot of people don't detox their bodies, actually. That's another thing. Like, you eat all this food, like I say, you wouldn't drink from a cup and never wash it out. So why do you always constantly eat all this food but never actually flush your body out?
Good
And
way to look at it, you know.
Have a balance,
exactly. And most of them don't even drink water. It's like your body actually needs water. The lymphatic system.
Blockages.
Yeah, the lymphatic system is where your sweat comes out. So it's coming out here, it's coming out on your groin, it's coming out in various places in the body. And if you're not drinking enough water, then the lymphatic system cannot flush its way out.
Yeah.
So this is why women will end up with breast cancer and various different things that will end up happening to their body because the lymphatic system can't flush itself.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got all these toxins, but I'm now holding them inside the body. I
Yeah.
have to put them somewhere. So now other organs end up getting those things, and it's like, okay, you've got this, you've got that. Like, for instance, you're not drinking enough water. You've got what's it called? Kidney stones.
Yeah.
That comes from you not drinking enough water.
Yeah.
Because then all them calcium deposits end up literally building together and forming stones.
Yeah.
And if people just knew that, like, just drink a couple of glasses every single day. I'd say liters, but I'm not even going to say that because most people can't do the liters.
Yeah.
But drink a couple of glasses a day. Just to, you know, get your stomach started before you even eat any food. Allow that to help you.
In the morning, you gotta take just fluids.
Exactly.
You see,
Your
but
body's still flushing throughout the morning.
even those things, as you've just mentioned, you know, breast cancer and so forth, they need to put that on, you know, the adverts just to
gonna
say,
do that, though.
drink water, like water in the mornings and so forth, like, or your water intake, but it's not out there.
They're not gonna
People know that, you know, the importance of drinking water, but because it's not in your face all the time.
If someone's got cancer, they won't tell them to stop eating meat. Meat is something that makes it grow.
But if they're on chemo, they'll tell them stop eating dairy though. Do you know that?
What,
Literally, my niece had cancer, and I've got a couple of people around me that had cancer, and they told them automatically stop eating dairy.
Yeah.
What does that say? Well, dairy causes mucus. We already know that already.
Yeah.
Do you know? So if it causes mucus in the body, that's just clearly stating that it's going to make that bacteria breed more.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that's happening. So if they're telling them that to take them off that when they do chemo, that says something to me.
That
And
they
the body's
know.
body's reacting to that. So
Definitely.
you need to keep yourself off that, don't you? Because they're
Yeah.
clearly telling you that. But yeah, they're not going to tell you all these things because they want you to be trusting them in any way that you can.
You want to make money off it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And oxygen, like oxygen. that is so important. Like breath work, breathing, getting enough freaking breathing in, having the window open so you can get fresh air.
A lot of
Yeah.
us are breathing wrong.
Most
as
of us are
well.
literally breathing all this carbon dioxide in because we breathed it out and it's constantly just circling back.
Yeah.
Gotta
So
be
you know,
up.
oh no, but it's cold outside.
Even
Get
with
some
the mask,
fresh air.
when you like the mask,
the mask-
things, innit?
That was
You're
a way
literally
of-
breathing that carbon dioxide straight back in. It's not going
Making
anywhere.
yourself ill.
Yeah.
So a lot of people becoming ill from wearing masks. You're trapping in the bacteria.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
This conversation
You
can
could go
expand.
It can go on, you know. We need a part 2.
Yes, most definitely.
Definitely need a part 2, man. Because
Most definitely.
it can go on. We could be talking forever. But yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for coming up anyway, man. It's been an interesting conversation. I've learned a lot. Definitely learned a lot today. And I'm interested to know more. So we need to have this conversation
Yes.
on a regular basis. I
Yes,
think.
yes.
I'm down for
Yeah, most
that.
definitely.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
All right then. Respect.
Thanks for the conversations and the questions that you asked. I feel like the questions literally what reflects back the information. So yeah, thank you for asking the right questions.
I'm inquisitive. You know, when we was talking, we came up right to discuss his clothing line, right? And then as soon as you started talking about mushrooms, I was off. I was like, I need to know all these things, right? So I'm glad we've sorted this out to have this conversation because I think it's needed.
Thanks, yeah.
We're definitely good to have more part 2, part 3. Because
Yeah.
we're all still on our journey, still learning new things as well. So we're
Yeah.
going to bring new things to new episodes and stuff like that.
And it's
Definitely.
so much that's still back there from the previous journeys that still haven't spoken about yet.
Yeah, yeah. And we've only touched the surface lightly,
Definitely.
right? But we're gonna go
There's so
in,
much more.
We're gonna go in
Very
deeper.
more.
We're gonna go in deeper because especially the wound care as well. That's important. That trauma. When I watched your post and you was talking about it, I said that's important because you was talking about like even people that's had abortions and so
yeah,
forth. How
yeah.
it really helps. And I think on our next time we talk, we need to go into that in more detail to see how
There's a spiritual concept to that too. Like that baby stays with you. That baby stays with you. But we don't do the necessary cleansing and stuff that's needed in order for us to clear that away.